Hey guys, in this video I'm going to walk you through the steps on how to set up the Roku solar panel, and I'm going to be doing this with the outdoor security camera. So what we're going to do is open up our quick start guide. You want to make sure that you have everything that you need for setup and that it was all included. And step one is going to be assembling the base. So we're going to take this little base piece right here, and then we're going to take this piece and we want to make sure that we align these little notches right here so that it slides into place. And then we can take this little piece and twist it around the end so that we can secure this into place. And make sure that it's tight so that we are ready to go with the next step. So step two, it wants us to mount the base onto the wall that we're going to be attaching this to. So fix the base to your mounting location using the included screws. If the installation surface is soft or unstable, you first want to use a 1/4-inch drill bit to drill a hole into the wall, and then you can insert the anchor nail into the hole and fix the base with the screws. If you're going to be doing this into a solid surface, then you don't need these plastic anchors, and then you can just screw directly into that solid wall surface with the screws that are provided. So now what we want to do is attach this universal joint to the back of our solar panel. So taking out the solar panel, and we can see the back side here, pretty self-explanatory. We're going to screw this right into place. And once you have that screwed into place, then we're going to lock it in place with this piece, spinning it all the way to the end. And so if you already have this mounted on the wall, then you can take this, put it in place, and use this wing nut here to tighten it down. And make sure you get it relatively tight, but not too tight, because then you're not going to be able to move this around into the exact position you want it to be. But once it's in the position that you want it, then you can screw it down a little bit tighter so it won't move around as freely and it'll be secure and tight in place. So now at this point, we're going to use our wires to hook it up to our camera. And we have a micro USB coming out of our solar panel. We're going to plug it right in to this micro USB attachment. And it's got this little rubber covering over it so that we don't get any water damage on these wires in the connection. And once we're connected up there, then we're going to take this end and plug it into the back of our camera. And it says you can just snip this protective piece right off, or you can just rip it off. And then we're going to line this up to the back of our camera, and we're going to push that into place. And this should also create a watertight seal so that you don't get damage in there from weather. And of course, you want to find an area that gets the most direct sunlight throughout the day. Angle the solar panel upwards 30 degrees, point it south in the northern hemisphere, and this will give you the most sunlight. And it recommends to keep the solar panel clean, and you can do this by wiping the face of the solar panel with a soft, damp cloth regularly to clear off any dust and debris. You probably don't have to do this all that often, but it is something that you should do occasionally. And I'm going to go set this up outside my house so you can see what the final setup looks like. So I set up the solar panel on my house, and since I affixed the base to a solid area, drilling it into wood, I didn't need those plastic backing pieces. But if you're drilling into a softer material or something that should have some extra anchored support, you can use those little plastic anchors before drilling in the screws. So I have my solar panel pointed up at about 30 degrees, and it gets a decent amount of sun during the first half of the day. And the extra wiring I wrapped around the back of the panel. And with that wire coming over from the solar panel, I wrapped a little bit of the extra cordage here around the base of the camera, plugged it into the back, and then pointed the camera in the direction that I'd like it to be located. I was also able to test how much charge I got from my solar panel on the first day. And this is in the month of October, so the sun is a little bit lower in the horizon, so I'm not getting quite as much sun as I would normally get, and I'm only going to be getting it through the first half of the day because that's the direction my solar panel is pointed, and I also have a tree in the way that's going to block it for the second half of the day. But with where my solar panel is, I should probably in general get about 3 to 5 hours of sunlight depending on the time of year per day. And on my first day of charging, it went from a 75% state of charge on my camera all the way up to 90%. And since it says this battery can last up to 6 months without charging it, and that's if you don't have a solar panel, if I'm getting 15% in one day, that means it should do more than enough to keep this battery charged up so that I never have to take it down and plug it in to charge it myself. So I hope this video is helpful going over how to set up the Roku solar panel with the outdoor camera. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Consider subscribing to the YouTube channel, and I'll see you back here next time.